RMJ Movie Reviews back again, everybody, and I'm coming with another holiday Halloween movie review and another controversial pick this time. Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 from 1990, came from New Line Cinema, directed by Jeff Burr, who directed Stepfather 2. Viggo Mortensen is in the picture. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I still remember when this film came out. I believe this film came out when I was in the 3rd grade, but I still remember the advertisements for it when it came out, which those of us who are old enough to remember is Leatherface standing in front of a lake, and then like some lady like throws the chainsaw out of the lake. The trailer is actually on the DVD, but I still distinctly remember that teaser trailer when it used to come on TV. And I thought it was a cool looking trailer, I remember as a kid, because I had seen, oh god, if memory serves me right, I had seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre on regular TV. Again, this is back when they still used to show these kind of movies on, like, I'm talking like channel, like 5, 8, 19, you know, now they don't. But I believe I had seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Actually, it was like on a Halloween Horror Week thing on Channel 43 WUAB, the 8 o'clock movie. So this was like sometime, I think, in the late 80s. It might have been 89 maybe. And I don't know, it was sometime in the 80s I had seen the first one on the 8 o'clock movie. And then I remember my father, there was a video store called, I think it was called Earls or Arrows or Earls. There's a trailer for it here on YouTube somewhere. You guys can look it up. But my father let me actually rent, this is how cool my dad was, he actually let me rent the second film, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, starring Dennis Hopper. He let me rent that from the video store, and me and my cousins watched it. Strangely enough, I remember the family, we were eating chili that night when we watched that film, which is, in retrospect, is just like so ironic and gross when you really think about it. If anybody knows that movie in and out. And sorry guys, I'm like kind of cooked. Got a day off work, so I'm tired. But either way, then we come upon 3. I didn't see 3 at the theater. I do remember seeing this cool cover here, which this is the one thing I do like, is that this is one of the few movies that retains the original cover art. And this was, I mean, it's kind of, the lettering was actually on the bottom, but this poster was just always so cool to me. And that's one of the things that I like about Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. When I very first saw the film, obviously I saw it when it first came on home video. Me and my cousins were like, it was the greatest in the world. We thought it was great. If I remember right, I think I liked it better than 2. Rewatching it now as an adult, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise is a strange breed, because it's like the first one, I can't really say so much as I like it as like a entertaining movie. It's just more that it's just so ferociously batshit crazy that it just bugs you out because it's just so nuts. The second one is just this insane movie. It's so crazy. It has such a twisted. It's just crazy. I don't know how Tobe Hooper can come up with these movies that are just, they're so nuts. They just, I mean, it's so crazy. It's hilarious. And that the second film is really, I realize it's a comedy now. And this film is more kind of straightforward. You know, it's kind of more, you know, I looking at it now, I think it's okay. It's alright. It's heavily flawed. And, you know, again, kind of like a situation like with Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, although not as bad. I mean, it's just something about when you get to making films and you get interference from people who, I mean, like, how can you get funded to make a certain movie, a horror film, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, then somebody who works for the company looks at it and goes, I don't like it. You work for the company. You know what type of movie it's going to be. Then you release it, and they want them to cut the violence out. Now, it's a rated R movie. It's not a PG-13 or a PG movie. So It's a guy with a chainsaw. He's a cannibal. He skins people. His family, they all eat them together. They have bones in the living room. Why would you cut out all the gore and violence? I don't know. It just makes no sense to me. But, you know, the MPAA and kind of behind the scenes powers that be destroyed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 because I really think had it been left intact, I think you got a really good, gritty, straightforward, seriously played horror picture. And that's what I do like, is that I do like the craziness of the second film, you know, with Bill Moseley and the father, and they're kind of like Three Stooges being goofy, like, killers, you know. I mean, that's fun too. But I do like, and I will say, the opening to this movie, oh my god, the title sequence, I mean, it's just like mean. I mean, the only problem is the title sequence is like the best part of the whole movie. Like, this title sequence, because, like, you know, we all remember it opens with the girl, she's screaming, and the sledgehammer goes towards the camera, and Leatherface pops on the screen. And basically the titles are intercut with, you know, him butchering this girl and skinning her face, and it is so effective. It sets the tone for the movie, but the problem is the rest of the movie does not live up to that title sequence, and I blame that purely on the MPAA and the behind the scenes people who wanted to make, I don't know what they wanted to make, you know, just a tame horror picture. But those are the elements of Leatherface I like. I like that they really keep intact. The spirit of it is true. It's just that it's not honestly horrific enough. It's just too tame, and it's kind of it just plays it safe. I mean, we all know in the first two movies, particularly, there's a lot of female abuse. You know, there's abuse towards Kate Hodge, the main actress in here, but not nearly as, you know. I'm not saying I want that, but I'm saying that's what's expected of this franchise. You know what I mean? They kind of they, you know, pin her hands to the table, and they kind of rough her up in the face a little bit, but it doesn't. It very much plays it safe. And then when they get the boyfriend strung up or whatever, they don't. They just play it safe. It doesn't feel dangerous enough, is my problem. You know what I mean? When you watch the first film and when you watch the second film, when they got the girls captured, you just feel like, oh shit, I want her to get out of this. I still remember when I was a kid and I saw the first one and she jumped out that window, and when the brother was running down the road and helped her out, the truck guy, I was like, so, and when she got on the truck and she's just laughing crazy, I was so happy for her. I was like, yes. And when I saw the second one, when Dennis Hopper came with the chainsaws and rescued Caroline Williams, I just remember like feeling safe, like, yes. And that's the problem. You don't feel that real sense of danger. I think the opening titles, you feel it, and you kind of feel pretty good build up. You know what I mean? Just seeing the dead bodies on the road, and really the most threatening character in this movie. Don't get me wrong, Leatherface is really cool. I like how they kind of give him kind of a grungy late '80s like rock star look, and then there's kind of like heavy metal music. You know, before Halloween Curse of Michael Myers tried to rip that off. You know, it's kind of cool that they give Leatherface kind of a rocker grunge look, and he's got like this cool gold chainsaw. That's badass. Leatherface looks awesome, and they kind of add a little bit of the mentally delayed, childish kind of aspect to the character, which is very prevalent in the first one, and really a lot even more in the second one. They keep the twisted characters, you know. It just doesn't have the danger and the true horrific feel of the first two. Because when you watch the first two films, you feel like scarred and exhausted. Even the second film was just really goofy and gross. But you like when it's over, you still feel just like exhausted and nasty. Like, oh, I gotta take a shower. This here, you know, you just feel like you're watching a by the numbers horror picture. You know, which is what it was turned into. By far, I think the most threatening character in the movie is... Now, Viggo Mortensen pops up. He's good in the movie. I can't remember one guy who was... I think he's been in a couple of other movies. He plays the character Tinker. Good actor. But really, by far, the guy who plays... I think his name is Alfredo. He works at the gas station. And, you know, he's kind of like the Hitcher and Bill Moseley a little bit. But he's got, like, one eye that's, like, whited out. And he's looking at porno magazines, and he's actually very creepy. I think the most effective scene to me that feels scary is where he's kind of harassing Kate Hodge at the car at the gas station, and she's like, "Well, can you fill up the car?" And he sticks the gas pump in, and he's kind of simulating like it's a sexual situation, and he's kind of like, "Do you like it? Do you like it?" And he's got this creepy. It's a very icky. The whole movie should have been like that, but unfortunately, after Kate Hodge gets, because we all know all these movies, they finally hold the girl hostage. That's the kind of the template of all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Then she escapes, but once they kind of get her back at the house, it just kind of falls apart, and I don't know. And then like you just this whole new family, and I'm not really knowing where they came from. I can kind of connect the dots. The little girl from Friday 7 is Leatherface's daughter, and I guess those two are his brothers, and she's his mom. I guess Grandpa, who's dead, was the dad. I don't know. I don't know. Does it? I think the intention was there, and it's an okay time waster. Like I said, the creepy characters, the straightforward, gritty atmosphere. Of course, Ken Foray. I mean, I remember when me and my cousin saw it. We're just rooting for it. We're like, yeah, when he made it out alive, we were like, yes, So it was good to see, a black dude make it through one of these movies. That was cool. But it's too tame. It's not horrific enough. It doesn't take enough risk. The body count is not high enough. I mean, William Butler gets killed. The two girls get killed, which kind of in a tame way, and then like the mom. I mean, the body count is pretty low, So, it's okay. It's all right. It still kind of has a little bit of an icky feel and creepy characters and some good black humor in it, but ultimately it's just too tame. And it just kind of ends kind of like just lacklusterly. You know what I mean? It just I can't remember the word, but I don't know. It just kind of ends, and then you're just kind of like, and then Leatherface comes back at the end, and it's like, what? Like obviously they were trying to build a franchise off of it, but what I learned from the DVD was that it bombed so badly. It opened up at number 11. It didn't even open up in the top 5 or 10. It opened up at number 11. So. It was not to be. But I'm glad New Line Cinemas, fixed everything up, because in my humble opinion, I can either give or take remakes. When I see stuff like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, it's like, go screw yourself. No. But when I see remakes like 2006, The Hills Have Eyes, or even Dawn of the Dead, I think that was '05, I'm like, sign me up. I'm game. That's... especially The Hills Have Eyes 2006 remake. That was just like, whoa. But I think the 2003 Jessica Biel remake, I actually like that movie. The beginning prequel, the problem I had with that is like, you already killed Arlie Ermy and everybody else, so how you gonna bring them back again and the actors look older and just... I don't know. I didn't really like the beginning, but I will say I love the fact that they pushed the horror, and they had a dinner scene in that movie, which I thought was really good. I like the horror in the beginning. I just don't really like the movie as much as I like the first remake. So sue me if I like the first remake, guys. But that's all I got to say about Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 from 1990. Oh, I will also say too, I love the opening credit sequence. I will say out of the ones that came out at that time up until 3, that was my favorite intro, like title sequence, where they go like, Sally Hardesty fell foul of a cannibalistic clan of serial predators. That's a really cool intro to that movie. So that's all I got to say about it, guys. Leave some comments below, thumbs up my video, subscribe to my channel, and leave comments down below about Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 from 1990. Any opinions on the DVD, behind the scenes. You can even, if you want to, you can even talk about the return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. Maybe one day I might talk about it if I can muster the courage. RMJ Movie Reviews. I'll be back with a movie review of the classic, fantastic Wes Craven film, Scream, from 1996. See you soon.